Okay. Okay. Any moment now? And tell me when we're ready. Are we ready? And when we are ready, I can't see you. I don't have my glasses on. So holler. It's still a commercial. Welcome back. Let me just talk a little bit about globalization and how the internet, how Facebook, and how some of these other, quote, new inventions, unquote, have maybe not given us what we thought it was going to give us. Now, I love the internet. I mean, I can go on and I can do a whole bunch of things. I can play games, I can enter contests, I can read, I can do so much. And I don't have to shave. I don't have to prepare myself. I don't have to look good. I don't have to step out of the damn house. I can be anyone I want to be. And I don't have to come face to face with you. I don't have to see you. I don't have to look you in the eye. I don't have to feel your pain. And that's a big comfort. Getting away from you. Getting away from the crowds. Getting away from people that maybe I need to be with. And I think maybe the text messaging, maybe the Facebook, maybe this contact that we think is going to bring us so close together is not the way. Maybe it's pushing us further away. You know, this whole idea of the internet when it first came out was basically, I believe, was educational. It was used primarily by universities. I mean, look at the very first computer. It was in the University of Pennsylvania. It was gigantic. It took up the whole back wall. And it was used for science purposes. And the whole communication explosion occurred just around 1995 when the computer started to get into every house. Now, I don't know what the statistics are, but I'm willing to say a lot of households had more than one computer. My house, we have 2 desktops and 1 laptop. We all go on the computer. We all are spending more time on that computer than we are face to face with other people. I think it's hurting. I think it's hurting us. And the reason I say that is that human beings need the contact. We need the flesh and blood. We need to look each other in the eye. Let me tell you something. There's
Michael.
Nothing.
Oh,
yes, go ahead.
Globalization, Basir Mutar says, globalization looks like connected people. There are no borders. Also because of the internet. But why is the number of lonely people growing, as we had said earlier?
We're dependent on technology at our own life, at our own lifestyle. We are getting away from the flesh and blood contact that's needed. Listen, I need to be in a chair facing you. I need to look you in the eye. I need to be your audience. I need to show you that I am listening. I want you to know that I am your captive audience. I want to encourage you. I want you to continue. I want to elevate you. I want to treat you like a princess, a king.
Are you saying that with this face-to-face interaction, you would not feel loneliness?
With face-to-face contact, you are less likely to feel lonely. And if you do start feeling lonely, you got someone that can see you immediately, right then and there. Not 24 hours later when you end up on the couch with a therapist. You are with a friend. Now, you're not going to get the professional help that some doctor can give you, but you will get the caring, the compassion, the love. And that means a heck of a lot more than what you're shelled out for your different counseling sessions.
But what about people who feel lonely even in the presence of others? What is it that they're seeking?
I think they're holding back. I think when I start to feel lonely around someone else, I am not letting myself open. I feel maybe I'm superior. I feel maybe I don't fit in. I feel the only way that I can mingle and be with them is to make myself as small as possible. I must elevate them, and I must look at them at their greatest traits that they have. Number one, so I can learn from them, and number two, so that I could not get mad or angry, not get to a point where I push them away. You will never push away a king. You will never push away a president. You will never push away someone you defer to. If you look down on someone, if you think that you're better than the person that is cleaning the stalls in the bathroom, of course you're not going to have contact with them. You're going to look down upon them. You're going to demean them. But if you ask yourself, what did my Uncle Nicholas do when he cleaned the bathrooms in Astoria, Queens? I loved him. I can relate to someone who works in janitorial services, who works in house cleaning. And when I can look at a person and see something that is higher than myself, elevated, better, even if it's just someone who has better looking hair than me, or if I'm bald and I see someone who has hair, I can say, my God, I really like the texture of your hair. Or you know something? You really know how to sing. Or you really know how to do something that I can't do. And that's when you appreciate their good traits. Stay away from the bad. I mean, look, we can all be negative. We can look at the bad side of things. We don't have to. But the more that we look at the negative side, the more easy it is for us to become lonely, to be separated, to be disconnected.
Where can we search for connections of your ass?
Through friends, like-minded friends. I can't tell you. I'll tell you one thing. I don't look at myself as religious. I look at myself as being spiritual, but not religious. And I'll tell you, that is the void. That is the lack. That is the, there's a German term, das Ding, which Karen DeKay has told me about, and this is a philosopher, and it has to do with the emptiness that we all feel sometime in our life. It's called the thing, the lack. It is the lack that we feel inside. We all experience it. We all can have a fulfillment. We all can seek a friend, someone who shares our beliefs, shares our understanding of why we're here. Maybe they're asking the same questions that you are. Why am I here? What is the purpose to my life? Wouldn't it be great to have a friend that you can sit down and talk to about? Someone that is not going to laugh or say, my God, I mean, he's talking about spaceships and invasion. No, but whatever you believe, you can share with a friend, and they're not going to laugh at you. And you know something? They're probably going to feel the same way you do. And maybe they were afraid to even bring it up. Bring it up. Share yourself. Remember, the best way to approach a friend is from humility, from being humble. I love being humble. See, I'm not that tall. I can get lower. I mean, how low can I go? I can get under you, baby. I can get deep under you, and I can lift you, and I can say, teach me, love me, show me your humanity, show me who you really are. I will open up to you. I will give of myself. Well, maybe a little bullshit thrown in. Just a little bit of bullshit. But you will know and be able to cut through that bullshit, just as I can cut through yours when we become true friends.
Viewer asks, do you really believe in that?
Yeah, of course I do. I believe I can be a friend with anyone. You know, there was this old guy from the 1930s, Wally Post, I think. No, he was whoever the guy was, he says, I never met a man I didn't like. And I never met a man I didn't like was something that I always felt true about. It was a truism for me, in other words. I never met a person I didn't like, with the exception of that one judge and that lieutenant colonel in Vietnam. But I'm always been able to get along with people because I find something good in them. Even the most crotchety person, I find something good in. I don't know, and I don't have to go out of my way. I see someone and I open up to them and I see there is a connection. You always find some sort of connection if you look for it.
Michael, can you empathize with the loneliness that might be felt by teens? And Vasir Mutar asks, comments that the new generation is completely lonely because they don't have friends, they just have contacts.
I think the most lonely time in my life was as a teenager. It was before I began to find myself. Remember, as teenagers, we all were searching for an identity. We didn't know who we were going to be. We didn't know who we were. And some of us have continued with that. We really don't know who we are, why we are. And it all starts, the first questioning I had was as a teenager. And boy, did I feel lonely. And, you know, I grew up, I couldn't talk to other guys. I mean, yeah, hey, if you talk to another guy, you might be thought, hey, man, he's a little bit funny. Watch out for him. Not that there's anything wrong with homosexuality, but, you know, I grew up having to box, having to fight. And the only people I could talk to about my spirituality, about my feelings, was a girl. You know, I'll be honest with you. I had what's called confidants. And throughout my life, I've had a confidant, someone that I can go to, maybe over a cup of coffee, when I was smoking, maybe have a cigarette break with, and just talk about gentle things. That brings me to the question of women, girls, the special loneliness that the female have. There are some who believe that the female is one to receive, is the one in our society who enables males to create a desire to be a giver, a bestower. I think women have it tougher than men when it comes to dealing with loneliness. I can go out and punch a punching bag. I can slap a guy upside the head, get into a physical type of activity, roll around with my kid, wrestle, pick him up, yell at him, call him names. He called me back. Hey, your mama, your older mama, you're dead mama, you're stupid mama. And I can relate that way, locker room stuff. Women, it's difficult. It's difficult when particularly if they don't have someone they can talk with. If you don't have a friend, someone that you can let your hair down and say, my God, I'm feeling this way. Have you ever felt this way? Is there anything you can tell me that might help me? You find someone like that and you treasure them because they can be the friend of your life for all of your life.
A viewer asks, you believe in a connection between men and women. On what level? Also, where does this come from and why is it important?
I think that men need women and women need men. And the first thing that I have to admit to is I'm made up of both male and female. And for the longest time, I try to deny the more gentle side, the artistic side, the romantic side, the side that was creative, the side that has love. I didn't want to deal with that. I was a soldier, for Christ's sake. I was a man. I was someone who went out on the battlefield. I fought. I competed. I went into that courtroom and I became a bastard. I fought for whatever clients' rights they had. And I was a bastard, let me tell you. I didn't like myself. I didn't like being that type of person. I didn't like being that type of man. Now, I think both of us have those traits inside of us. Females, women have those type of attributes. and they can use them to their advantage. They can compete. They can do the same job as a man, if not better, and sometimes much better. But they also have the gentle part, as do men. And women have shown me that it's the gentle part that you need, that you have to have in order to get friends. You can't barge in, you can't force, you can't coerce someone to be your friend. You have to love them. And thank God I have that female, that woman inside of me that allows me to love. I love you, you schmuck. What we got here? Who's next?
Come on. One of our viewers says, if you didn't feel lonely in the Army, maybe we need a war to bring us together. Do you have any other suggestions besides
I didn't feel lonely in the Army. When I was in the Army, I was a leader of men. I didn't have time to feel lonely. Well, there was that one or two times in Saigon at that house of ill repute. But I'm not going to get into that. I mean, yes, it was wonderful that night. How lonely I am to recall, to have the memories of, yes. Loneliness is not getting the letter. Loneliness is hearing that your girlfriend, the ex-girlfriend that you one day thought would marry you, is pregnant by someone else and gets married to someone. And then you come home on leave and you knock at her house and her mother tells you, she's fine, and you think your mother is talking about your girlfriend and she's talking about the child. And your heart is broken and you walk away and you pray, you hope that that mother doesn't see your face, because at that moment your heart is broken. You are lonely.
There's some conversation going on now about whether or not men and women need each other. One of our viewers, Vasir Mutar, says men can easily survive without women in the modern world. They've got fast food, dry cleaners, etc. And we have Rivka says, for how long? Another viewer says, I do not believe in that. I believe that women do not need men in modern society. What are your thoughts on this, Michael?
You need a friend. I don't care if it's male or female. Now, a lot of people think, in some religions will tell you that you have to pair up, you must find someone, you must populate, you must continue our species. Bull crap. I'm talking about a friend. I don't care what sex that friend might be. And I don't care what preference of a sexual partner you're looking into. I mean, that's none of my business. And I don't think government should be involved in that at all. But a friend. You have to identify yourself on all of your traits. And you have to admit, whether you're female or a male, that you have both. And that you have a connection. Maybe you have better qualities along what we traditionally call the female side as a man than you do as the male side. I'm not crazy about wrestling. I don't care about boxing, watching it. I like music.
Do you agree, or do you say then that men and women experience loneliness differently? Do they need, if you say that it's a lack, do they need different things in order to not feel lonely?
I think they need the same. It's the emptiness inside. It's the void. It's the unfulfilled life that you and I and everyone else who becomes lonely. It's that life that we find. We have to fill it with something that doesn't exist in what we call this corporeal world. It doesn't exist in material things. You can't get it in a new car, a new house, a new job, your family. You can't get it there. You can only get it, I believe, through the spiritual path. And that spirituality can fill you. Now, you don't have to go to a church to find it, but I think you must help yourself find it through a friend with mutual beliefs, mutual desires. And once you find that friend, once you become a member of that group, maybe a group of friends with like-minded intentions, once you find that, man, never let it go, because they will help raise you as much as you are helping to raise them.
What's your final conclusions? How do you beat loneliness?
Love. Love. you find that the purpose of life starts with recognizing the serving of others. That will lead you to finding out you serve others and you serve nature. You serve the purpose that nature put us here in the first place, to be connected with others.
So, unity.
Unity. Exactly. Unity. Become one. Be one with everyone. Be one with the universe. And you'll live beyond the time that you think that you wouldn't live if you were lonely and have high blood pressure and then become demented and do all these other things that the lonely people eventually lead into.
Just one more comment by our viewer, Rivka. She says,
Rivka.
We need emptiness because we need something to compare it to when we get to the opposite state.
Exactly. So loneliness is a dual-edged sword. We need the emptiness so that we can be fulfilled, that we can feel a light, to feel a love,
Filling?
A fulfillment that you can't get from anything but that source that's all around us and is part of all of us. Well, let me just find out how much time we have here. I think we're coming to a close here. And as we come to the close, we will say goodnight and hope to see you again. Our next topic will be something that will be mutually chosen by the women, as it was before. Because, let's face it, they are good when it comes to dissemination. They are disseminators with a capital D. Yeah, woman, yeah! Are we done yet?